Alright guys, the Orient Blue Mako. Now you can see the Sunday is in red, and a lot of Japanese watches will have the Sunday in red, and I asked my wife about it, and no surprise, it's because it's the weekend. But you'll notice often that they don't have the Saturday in red even though it's the weekend. Well, that's because, at least when my wife was a kid, they had school on Saturdays, at least a half a day of school. So Saturday was sort of like a work day. I'm not sure if companies worked on Saturday, but Sunday was the day off. And you'll notice that on Seiko 5s, at least my Seiko 5s, Sunday is red and Saturday is blue. And so maybe that's to signify, okay, this is a half a day, and then Sunday in red signifies it's your day off. It's a very interesting aspect of Japanese watches, and one I kind of like. I like a little color, and Sunday and Saturday, at least if you're wearing a Seiko 5, brings a little color in your life. This Orient Blue Mako has been keeping about +5 a day, so it's slowed down, and I don't know if it's just settled or to its benefit some of the oil kind of dried up in it and slowed it down, but yeah, it's become more accurate. And my first mechanical watch, so I'll always have a special place in my heart for it. Can't say I'm crazy about the tinny rattle. You know, a lot of old Rolexes will have a rattle as well, but it's a satisfying rattle. It's a solid rattle, whereas this one, I don't know if you can hear it, you really can't. It's not, it's a tinny rattle. And it's those in links right there, those hollow in links. Yeah, I mean, after wearing Rolexes for so long, you know, I really do see the faults in this watch. And you know, when I first got my sub and I stopped wearing this, I love the sub, but you know, I really still like this watch, and in a way I thought, well, you know, it is a Rolex, and that's special, and I absolutely love it, and it's got you know, a lot going for it, but it's not so much better than my Orient. But that's not the case. That is not the case. I mean, size-wise, this is a little bit ungainly. That's one thing you get with mid-tier and lower-tier watches. They may be 40mm, but they're thick and they're fat, and that's sort of a sign of a watch that may not be so luxury, that may not be you know, really up there. And that's one thing I love about Rolexes. And you know, Tudor really has that thickness as well, and I don't know if Tudor is doing it because, you know, they think bigger watches are in, or you know, it's one of those aspects of watches that I don't think the layperson would really concern themselves with. I think they would look at the face, they would probably look at the watch like this, and they'd go on that. But real watch people, they look at every aspect of a watch, and you're definitely going to think about the thickness. And if you're a watch person, Tudor might turn you off, and perhaps the people that make Tudor know that if you're turned off, you might go towards Rolex. So you get your Tudor and you become more of a watch person, and you realize it's thicker, and you start looking at the sub or looking at the GMT, which is much more slimlined. I think they're like I want to say 13 or 14 millimeters. Or you know, I might be speculating a bit much here, but it could just be that you know, they make fat cases and to get most movements in there. And then, you know, I know Tudor doesn't do that, but I watch like Orient or, well, one of the many sort of lower to mid-tier brands get a fat case and then get a movement, and if the movement's a little too big, you just put a plastic sort of holder around it. I think there's a term for it. A plastic, set in one of those plastic things, and you're good to go. Whereas, you know, Rolex, I think, are you know, the movements are really made for the cases, which makes you wonder, you know, if it's, say, a 3130 movement in the 34 and the 36, how do they take up that space? Hopefully there's not a big piece of plastic in there. That's a good question. I wonder what's going on behind the hood of a 34 millimeter Oyster Perpetual versus a 36. Hopefully there's not that thought of plastic in the watch, just a plastic you know, cup holding the movement, I don't know, that kind of turns me off. Whatever it is, if it's in a Rolex, I'm sure it's beautiful. I'm sure it's not something as you know, every day as a piece of plastic. Wow. All right, I went off on a tangent. I meant for this to be like a 1-minute video, but now it's a 7-minute video of Orient Blue Mako goodness. Hey, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks for watching again. Hey, I'm very thankful. That's why I thanked you twice. See you next time.